Bismillah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My good 10 students. We meet again in our English lesson with the simple present tense material. But before we start the material, I will convey the competencies that you must achieve, namely understanding, expressing, and being able to make simple present tense sentences, also being able to determine simple present tense sentences in every activity. Without taking up any more time, let's get started. I will begin with the Mastering Simple Present Tense subchapter, Introduction to Simple Present Tense, using simple present tense for facts and generalization, forming simple present tense, using simple present tense for habits and routines, using simple present tense for instructions, and the last, using simple present tense for future events. Next. Introduction to simple present tense. Simple present tense is one of the most basic tenses in English grammar. It is used to describe actions or events that are happening currently, regularly, or generally. In simple present tense, the verb takes the base form or the root form. For example, I eat breakfast every day is a sentence in simple present tense. The verb eat is in its base form and the sentence describes an action that happens regularly. Using simple present tense for facts and generalization. Simple present tense can also be used to state facts and generalization. For example, the earth revolves around the sun is a fact that can be stated using simple present tense. Similarly, dogs bark is a generalization that can be expressed using simple present tense. It is important to note that simple present tense is not used to describe actions that are happening right now. Instead, it is used to describe actions or events that happened regularly or generally. Forming simple present tense. To form simple present tense, we use the base form of the verb. For regular verbs, this is simply the infinitive without to. For example, walk, talk, and it are all base forms of regular verbs. For irregular verbs, the base form may not be as straightforward. For example, the base form of the irregular verb go is go, and the base form of the irregular verb be is am, are, is. Using simple present tense for habits and routines. Simple present tense is commonly used to describe habits and routines. For example, I wake up at 6 a.m. every day, or she brushes her teeth before going to bed, are both sentences in simple present tense. When describing habits and routines, it is common to use adverbs of frequency such as always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, and never. For example, I always drink coffee in the morning, or he rarely eats fast food. Using simple present tense for instruction. Simple present tense can also be used to give instruction or direction. For example, first you take the flour and mix it with the sugar. Then you add the eggs and stir. It's a set of instructions given in simple present tense. When giving instruction, it is common to use imperative verbs such as take, mix, add, and stir. These verbs are used in their base form and are not conjugated based on the subject of this sentence. Using simple present tense for future events. Simple present tense can also be used to describe future events that are scheduled or planned. For example, the concert which starts at 8 p.m. tonight is a sentence in simple present tense that describes a future event. When using present tense to describe future events, it is common to use time expression such as tonight, tomorrow, next week, or in 2 days. These time expressions indicate when the event will occur. Thank you very much. Hopefully, it can help understand simple present tense. Goodbye, my students.